Michael Scroggins. This is a straw man's argument. This is based on one of my lives that happens every day, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. until around 2 p.m. Michael is talking about how a portion of that video, I spoke about how witchcraft is only witchcraft when it's not your religion. And your straw man argument here shows that you're not being an honest debater. Is who they worship when they do the sacrifice that makes it witchcraft, when they're worshiping Satan. Are you that naive? The daily sacrifice was taken away when the veil was rent, when Jesus said, "It is finished." Well, let's look at some of the things that you have said here, sir. The first part of your straw man argument is that you are suggesting that the only person to which someone could be doing any other animal sacrifice would be to Satan. I do not believe you understand exactly who Satan is, first of all. When we look at your Bible within itself, as you should believe and you do truly believe in, you would recognize that Satan is not the devil, not the one that has been ascribed to you by the church, that has been created over generations. That Satan, means the administrator. It's a word that it was taken from the Sumerians that means the administrator. It means the one who is in charge of. Enlil was considered the Satan, the administrator over the Garden of Eden in Chaldea, where Adam and Adapa and Titi were placed. Later, this came into the Hebrew culture, and he was replaced. The Satan became the administrator, to which goes back and forth, as in your story of Job, which is the oldest book of your Bible. And he's the administrator who goes back and forth between heaven and earth. He's the administrator over the earth. And in this instance, this God character is representative of Anu, Enlil's father, since Enlil was the one who was the administrator over the earth, and Anu was the king of all Anunnaki. As in the story of Job, with Enlil being the Satan, he is going back and forth between earth and heaven. The Satan did not want to do any negative things toward Job. He was minding his own business. It was your God who decided to wager a bet on Job's faith. The Satan just merely said that the only reason Job is so faithful to you is because you give him everything he desires, as if he's a spoiled child. So a bet was made, and then Job had to experience all kinds of hells and losing his children and all sorts of things over a bet. And then when Job complained about it and he was admonished by this deity, "Did you create the lightning?" So first you must recognize who the Satan is. It is not this devil. It's more of an administrator, prosecutor, if you will, at best. But when we look at your argument, if I was the one who practiced Zoroastrianism, then I would say that your sacrifices, your belief in Jesus being sacrificed as a human sacrifice, is the worship of Agramenia, the Zoroastrian version of the devil. If I was of any other religion, whatever religion has a devil in it, then I would say that if you were committing to your practices, then you were worshiping the devil, although that is what goes on in today's world. As we speak right now, there are those who worship opposing to you that will say that you are worshiping a false god. And then you will return back and say that they are worshiping a false god. That was what I said in my video. So your comment of trying to say that I that naive is another part of your straw man, because you know as well as I do that in that live, that is not what I said. I did not phrase it that way. I phrased it in the way that I just did, that every religion believes that the other religion is practicing witchcraft. So therefore, you know what I meant and you know what I said. And then you said the daily sacrifice was taken away from you when the veil was rent, when Jesus said, "It is finished." Well, that never happened. This Jesus character has never walked the earth, and even according to your Bible, what was said at the end is different. In one version, he says, as you have said, it is finished. But in other versions, he said, why hast thou forsaken me? And in others, he said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now, there are times when people can misunderstand something that sounds very similar, but none of those in Greek, Aramaic, sounds anything alike. And most likely he was speaking Greek, but those things did not sound alike. So, this idea of Jesus on a cross taking away the daily sacrifice is a false narrative that was created, and now you are obliging it. Of course, you would not do daily sacrifices today because it has gone out of fashion with our culture. But you go ahead, Michael Scroggins. You continue to worship in the way that you do. And if it fulfills you and it makes you a good person, then stay into that worship. But do not fault us for researching and studying and realizing the falsehoods of your religion. But you have a great day. And remember always that whatever you are doing, someone else is saying that you are worshiping a false God in the same way that you would say that they are worshiping a false God. For whichever measure that you judge, so shall ye be judged. It is written in your own book, but yet you do not heed to it. So have a great day. And remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is not negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.